Hi everyone, and welcome to today's TechCast. I've got an incredible panel with me, so we're just going to let everyone come into the meeting and get started in a minute or two. Um, the Q&A will be available along with the chat, so if you want to say hi to anyone, feel free. Say hi from where you are in the world. I always love to find out where everyone's calling in from. You can tell from the accent, I am not US based. UK being represented today. One of our panelists is representing Wales, so big up Europe over here. So say hi. Love to see where you're all from. We're just going to give it another 30 seconds and we'll get started. I can see some familiar names in there. Hi, Jean. Hi, Marcus. All hiding in there. I can see them. Good to have you with us. There you go. Bret's representing Seattle. Sacramento, love it. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's get started then. So I'm Abby Giles-Haigh. I'm the Analytics and Innovation Director at Capgemini, and I've been part of AnDOUC for a number of years now. Usually I take the role of your summit coordinator, and I will be for 2026. So I'm looking after your summit for 2026. Today's TechCast is a little bit of a break from our usual. We are going to try and help you get the most you can from AI World, which is coming up very fast, just less than a month now in Las Vegas. So we brought together an incredible panel of people who can guide you through how to get the most out of AI World, which are the top ones you should be hitting to get the best for AI, analytics, data, and the good old database under there. If you do miss this or you need to catch up with it, can I recommend you catch up on our past future tech casts? Here you'll find out everything about ones coming up, but equally, if you want to rewatch this, it'll be in our archive within 24 hours along with the slides so you can get all that information. We are a community. We love hearing from you and finding out what's going on in your world and opportunity to ask questions, advice, all that sort of thing. We have different ways you can stay in touch with us from Slack, our website, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're on X and we're on the Blue Sky. Please feel free to reach out, especially our SIG community, such as Graph and Spatial. We know it's great to contact. As I said, 2026 Summit is around the corner. It's going to be in April 14th to 16th, 2026, and we are going back to Redshaw. So that's the old Oracle HQ. And call for papers is still open. So if you've got a story and you think, do you know what, the community needs to hear it, please feel free to put a call for paper in. If you're not ready to speak yet, you're still thinking a bit nervous, or you just want to relax and enjoy the sessions, registration is now open, so feel free to register or put a paper in. So today I have this incredible panel covering everything in AI world. We have Maria Colgan, Keith Laker, Bret Grinslade, and Mark Hornick joining us to tell us what not to miss at AI world. So they're going to be going through the top things. First and foremost, though, I'm going to cover you in terms of getting there, logistics, and registration. It's always the hardest part. So let's delve into what it's actually going to be like. So, if you haven't booked your hotel yet, these are the recommended hotels by Oracle. So you've got the Venetian, right on site, straight there, up and down in a lift. Not a lot of walking to and from the conference, but not everyone's price bracket. Let's just put it that way. I know I can't afford it, so Venetian might not be yours, but it's the nearest one along with the Palazzo also next to it. Bit further away, Treasure Island across the bridge. Really nice hotel, great ramen in their restaurant. If you fancy a ramen, they've got a really good ramen downstairs. Have stayed there previously. To get to the conference, it's quite literally the little bridge over the road, and you will come into the Venetian. Literally straight through. You can probably door to door in less than 15 minutes for Treasure Island. Next ones, It's the hotel I can't pronounce, so Haraz, I think is how it's pronounced, and the Link. They are next to each other. So the Link is about, I would probably say, a 15-minute walk. There are two routes. So top tip here, there are two routes. There is one that will take you along the boulevard, and then you will come into the Venetian, up the escalator, past the waxworks, and you can then either go through the casino into the conference or up the top way through the shops and then drop down onto the conference centre. Equally, though, there is a back route. So if you ask the staff at either the Link Hotel or Harara, there is a route that will take you through the car park. It's under shade, so it's sometimes much better if it's quite a hot day. It will take you through the back of the car park and you will pop in at the back of the Venetian Conference Centre. Sometimes that's really good for missing the crowds and the casino floor of the Venetian Hotel. I know a lot of the Oracle colleagues stay in those two hotels, and it's often a well-trodden route by the Oracle team to go through the back of there. Cosmopolitan, again, a bit further out, probably looking at a 20 to 30-minute route to get there. If you need to stay even further out, you're probably then going to be relying on the Las Vegas monorail. The monorail will drop you off at the Link Hotel. So again, you're going to have those two routes, either up the boulevard or through the back of the car park. But it is super simple. I stayed and used the monorail last year, and I can't recommend it enough. I thought it was really good to get away from the crowds and give you that opportunity to kind of get off the strip as well. So that's your hotels. When you get there, you are going to be held in the Venetian Conference Centre. Now, you can tell from my accent, I'm going to have jet lag, other side of the world, 8 hours behind myself. It's going to be a pretty busy one. If you are coming across the pond to the US, may I recommend taking a break in the afternoon? About 2 or 3 o'clock is when the jet lag is really going to hit you. Go and take a break, get some air, get some fresh air outside, get some daylight, get the jet lag moving. Coffee. There is a Starbucks. So this bottom picture here on the left-hand side, there's a Starbucks. It's probably the busiest Starbucks of the entire conference. My best tip from last year was order ahead. So use the app, order ahead, and pick it up, and then walk into the conference center. Far quicker than standing in the queue. But that would be my another top tip. But equally, that Starbucks is also used as a meeting point for everyone. Everyone says, I'll meet you at Starbucks. They'll probably mean that Starbucks, and that's okay, but it does mean there's a lot of people stood there. Just an FYI. Registration is this big snaking line. It does move very quickly. To be fair, if you've got your QR code, you're going to be in and out really quick. After you've gone through the security point, they'll scan that and you'll be through. If, like me, you have a hidden disability, so I have autism, the staff were brilliant last year. Just have a quick word with them, make them aware that you have a hidden disability, and they will assist you. Equally, if you have other disabilities, need wheelchair access, etc., again, the staff were on hand last year and were fantastic at helping us get easy access into the registration area and out the other side as quick as possible. Do try and do it a little bit earlier. If you do land, for example, I'm getting there on the Saturday, I will be going to registration as soon as possible and get that done, have my badge on me, and then it's just straight into the conference centre. Once you've done all of that, so you've got your registration, you've got your badge, you've managed to get some coffee and fuel yourself for the day, you're probably going to be heading straight into the exhibition hall or the hub. Really busy. There's no way around this. It's going to be busy. Again, if you're like me, noise cancelling headphones might be necessary, but they do sometimes have coffee on the shop floor, as I call it, along with some snacks. It is a long day, so I do recommend sticking some extra stacks in your bag, as well as bringing a light like hoodie, jumper, cardigan, scarf, something like that. Some of the rooms, the aircon does get pumped really high and can get a bit cold, so I do recommend kind of bringing that with you. On that theatre, on the floor in the hub area, there is usually theatre sessions, and there will be this year. I'm going to flag you two theatre sessions. Why am I telling you about theatre sessions? These are like bite-sized sessions. 20-30 minutes where you're going to get bite-sized information on a use case or an implementation. A lot of the partners, so myself at Capgemini, will be doing one, giving you some really bite-sized information that you can take away. Fantastic if you've got a little gap in your schedule when you don't want to go to a main session, drop in and see them. There's also usually free swag down there from the different partners and from Oracle, so make sure you pick up your free swag along the way. I always carry an extra water bottle, usually a Stanley Cup or something like that. Again, recommend there's usually lots of water coolers around there. Fill up before you go to your next session. Now, having said all that, the two theatre sessions I've pulled up are in the Oracle applications, the future of service when AI leads and human matters more. I think this is really going to be a interesting topic this year with us now, going to AI world is where is the human in the loop? And this one stood out for me as a theatre session I'll be trying to get to and looking at that perspective. On the right-hand side, I've also picked out this one in the customer success area, where we're looking at ransomware to resilience, the CISO's journey towards cyber maturity. Cyber topics, security is a huge area around AI at the moment. And I think, again, another really good bite-sized session that people will really want to see and get involved. So I really recommend. Top tips, when you arrive, figure out your quickest route from your hotel to the conference centre. If you want that Starbucks coffee, order ahead, don't stand in the queue. Try and register as soon as you can, and make sure you don't miss some of those theatre sessions. I know some of our speakers are also going to be picking up some extra sessions in this space that you might also want to attend. With that said, I have the pleasure of handing over to my very good friend Maria out in California. Good morning, Maria. How are you doing?
Good morning, Abby. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited that AI World, less than a month away now. So hopefully we'll get to see you all there. Just to make you aware, for the database sessions, and I've been a long-term member of the database team, we are a conference within a conference. So at AI World, you're going to be looking for the data deep dive sessions if you're looking for everything to do with Oracle database. And for me specifically, I'm excited about all the AI vector search sessions that we've got this year. I'd love for you to come to all of them, but as always, we're spoiling you with choice, giving you too many options probably. But let me run down the schedule and what you can expect from the vector search team at the Data Deep Dive at AI World. So starting Tuesday morning, right after Sapra's keynote, you can join myself and Tathankar Lahiri. We're going to give you basically a whistle-stop tour of AI vector search, what it is, how you use it, what's new since we introduced it last year at Cloud World, and what's next. In other words, what we'll be sharing through the rest of this year and early next year. If, on the other hand, you don't want to sit in a session, you'd want to get your hands on the keyboard immediately, then at the exact same time, 11:30 on Tuesday morning, you can attend the first of our two hands-on labs. These are 90-minute sessions where my colleagues, Andy Rivenis and Sean Stacey, will walk you through everything you need to know about running AI vector search inside the database, building an Apex app that utilizes that to show you the full benefits. Now, you wouldn't be doing AI if we weren't talking about agents and agentic AI, and more importantly, MCP servers and how you can utilize those. So in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, you've got two options. You can join our colleagues from Google and Tathankar as they talk about how you can use the Google MCP server to power agentic apps, or you can go to a new style of session that we have this year, which is a showcase. This is a demo-driven session, no slides, where you'll actually be introduced to the brand new private AI agent studio that we're releasing for the database. And the team there will show you exactly how to build apps and leveraging all of our AI capabilities inside the database. That session being run by a very well-known Oracle speaker. That's Sandesh Rao is going to be doing that. As you all know, he's a fantastically entertaining speaker, so that is not to be missed. Waking up early Wednesday morning, you are going to really want to grab that Starbucks coffee that Abby was talking about, because first session, 8:30 of the day, is a deep dive into how AI vector search works. This is with the two leading developers on this project. So our head of development, Shashank, and Aro are presenting this session, and it really is for those who want to see how the champagne is made. They'll give you a deeper dive behind the curtain of exactly how AI vector search works inside the databases. They'll give you guidance on getting good performance out of it, how to monitor it, all that good stuff. The next one I've got up for you then is in the afternoon on Wednesday. If you missed the hands-on lab on Tuesday at 11:30, because you obviously wanted to come and listen to me speak at the same time, and I understand that, you get a second chance at 2:00 on Wednesday afternoon. We are running the Getting Started hands-on lab again for all those who weren't able to join us Tuesday morning. The other alternative at 2:15 is to join us where we actually have a group of customers who are already using AI vector search inside 23AI, and they're sharing their experience about how they were able to bring those AI capabilities to their operational systems, what benefits they're getting. So if you're curious which large language models they're using, what embedding models they're using, why they used it, where they used it, all of that will be discussed at the panel on Wednesday at 2:15. Later that afternoon, we are also giving you the option to learn a little bit more about actually how to build your own knowledge assistant with Oracle Database 23AI. So that's going to be leveraging stuff like AI vector search under the covers, also graph, and then how to basically build a RAG pipeline. And so you'll learn all about how we've done that to build an agentic knowledge assistant that we're actually using inside in the database team. Now, I know you'll be partying hard Wednesday night, but I do want you to remember to get up Thursday morning, 10:15. We've probably got what's going to be the most popular vector session of the conference on Thursday morning, which is the best practices. So you're going to be excited. You're going to hear what it is. You're going to hear how it works. You're going to hear from customers already using it. And then this will be the session where you want to get out your notebook and take down all the best practices so that when you get home, you'll have that opportunity to implement it and get great success with AI vector search.
Amazing, Maria. Thank you so much for that. I am already looking at my schedule going, I can't fit all that in. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay, and we're going to hand over to someone who's my side of the world. Hi, Keith.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Greetings from Wales. Very good,
Welcome
thank
from
you.
Wales. Okay, well, I'm going to let you talk about the autonomous database.
Okay, thank you. We have so much to get through. So let's next slide. Pretty much all of the autonomous database product management team, the key people in development are all going to be there. So if you want to talk to us, we'll be wandering around the hub area. We'll be in lots and lots of sessions, and we have got lots and lots of sessions for you. As I say, all the key people are there. So if we go to the next slide, please. There is so much on autonomous. Keynotes, we got one keynote. I'm going to cover that in a minute, because that is, if there's one session that you mark down in your calendar to go to, it's going to be that one. We've got loads of workshops covering all sorts of key areas around analytics that I'm sure are all going to be of real interest to those people on this call, covering a lot of the words that I kind of pasted in there with sort of bigger fonts to emphasize some of the key points that are coming up in lots and lots of the different sessions. We got over 21 sessions dedicated to autonomous database. We've got hub theater sessions and so on. So there's a lot. You could spend the whole conference just focused on autonomous. And I'll get to how you find out all about that in a minute. But this is the big one. This is from an autonomous database standpoint. This is our standalone keynote with the head of autonomous database, Chetin, that all of you know. This is going to be huge. Obviously, I can't go into too much detail, but this is the one to be in. I think if you're in analytics, you're working with data warehousing, you're working with data lake houses, etc., we are going to make some earth-shattering announcements in this keynote session. There's going to be a lot to cover. Some of it will then filter into other sessions that George is going to cover, Mark's covering as well. Mark's going to cover his a bit later. Vishal's sessions for Data Studio. But there's a lot of important announcements around the analytics data warehousing space. And if that doesn't get you, the next slide will, because we're going to have some important people on stage. This is kind of a teaser as to who might be there. Everybody loves puppies. Apparently, we're going to have puppies in the demo ground, the hub area as well.
I'm not going to any sessions now.
So, there may be little cuddly friends at Chetin's keynote as well. But I can't promise that. But anyway, okay, let's move on to the next part. I think one of the diamonds that is baked into autonomous database is Data Studio. It is packed with everything that you need to get started from a data warehouse, analytics, lakehouse perspective. And following on from Chetin's session, Vishal is going to talk about, in a lot more detail, the announcements that Chetin's going to headline in his keynote. So if you want to kind of take the next level down from Chetin's session, which I should have said is on Wednesday morning, this one's in the afternoon. This is a great one to follow on from the keynote at 2:15. So have your lunch and get to Vishal's session. It's going to cover stuff like iceberg tables, etc. If you're dealing with these open source platforms, this is a must-see session. Okay, next one. All of you probably know Michelle. She's been with Oracle a long time. She's now part of the ADB product management group. I'm pleased to say, very, very lucky to have got Michelle. Wednesday morning, after Chetin's session, is a really, really interesting session. I'd say a unique look at how to use data, not necessarily from an analytics perspective, although there is a lot of analytics in here. We're talking about AI, so we're using the Select AI generation facility baked into the database to allow for natural language queries. But this takes a look at data as a product, smart data products. It's in conjunction with KPMG, who've developed this sort of environment for delivering this smart data product environment. We're hoping, I think Michelle confirmed to me the other day, that the customer for this project will be there. So you'll be able to get direct feedback from that customer as well. But it's a really, really interesting subject around data sharing and turning data sets into actual valuable products. So definitely a must-see on Wednesday morning. Next slide, please. You can see there's kind of a theme going here. Wednesday at 2:15. Spatial innovations in solar energy from a company in Europe, Deanland. I hope I've pronounced that. I hope my German's strong enough there. This is covering spatial. It covers database 23i. It's got Apex. It's got mapping. It's got AI. It's a brilliant session. We've got customer profiles up on oracle.com for this particular customer. But we've got VP Siva's going to be there with the customer. So this is a great opportunity to experience how if you like, the converged database model, this is it. This is a really stunning example of that converged model and the benefits of doing it. Okay, next slide. So I said I've picked 3 or 4, and they're all on Wednesday. There is a lot more going on. I'll quickly, hopefully I've still got the URL. I can paste it into the chat. But if you go here, I've got an online calendar app that will walk you through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There is stuff going on Monday, by the way. Although it's pre-event stuff, you have to pre-register to get on some of the workshop sessions there. They're listed on that platform. They're the ones that you definitely want to go to. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the sessions listed out by time slot, broken out by session, workshop, theatre session, and so on. And quite helpfully, I've also put the demograms when it's open, when it's not open, etc. So hopefully that will be of use to you. I'm waiting for all the confirmations to come through to finally update it and put the locations of the rooms you can get to for each session. I think that's just come out. Okay, next slide. If you want something a bit more formal, actually on the AI World platform, we've been able to create specialized books. So if you just want a simple PDF that you can print out with all the information, there's kind of 2 books that I put together for that. I'll get those links and stick them into the chat in a minute. Next slide. Let's say you can't get to AI World, which I think would be very, very sad. But I guess for some people, getting out to Vegas is not possible. Those of you know Marcos Arancibia. He runs the Autonomous Database Learning Lounge. Marcus, myself, Michelle, Vishal, all the speakers will be joining Marcus after the event, and we'll run a post-AI World roundup for you, just so as to bring all the most important messages to you. So if you can't get out there, we'll do our best to bring AI World to you. I think that's the last slide. Yes, that is. We look forward to seeing you all out there. Have a great time. And I will now hand over to, I think it's Mark, is it?
It is indeed. Mark Hornick, another good friend of mine. Nice to see you again, Mark.
Yes, same here, Abby. It's great to be here. And it's exciting to talk about all these new technologies we have with respect to AI and machine learning. So, with Oracle Product Management, AI and machine learning across Oracle Database and Autonomous Database, we have quite a lineup of sessions for you that's going to cover everything from generative AI to machine learning. So some of the sessions on the top of my list talk about accelerating your AI data strategy with Autonomous Database. So bright and early in the morning, come and join Michelle Melcher, and Marcos, and myself for this 2-hour product immersion session. So you're going to get immersed in using the fundamentals of generative AI from your database with Select AI, a component that we've introduced now for several years. It's grown in leaps and bounds. And it supports natural language to SQL generation, retrieval augmented generation, synthetic data generation, and a few other things that we'll be covering. So you can see the new and enhanced Ask Oracle chatbot that's available now. This gives you a no-code UI for interacting with your favorite LLM. So you'll be able to have some hands-on experience with that. The next item is let's get started with AI agents using Select AI on Autonomous Database. So just a little later in the morning, you'll have a hands-on lab that introduces these capabilities of Select AI that supports AI agents. So we're going to use the notion of a sales return agent that can help you navigate interacting with the user to say, I want to return a certain item, and then use some tools like PL SQL tools that are custom built, retrieval augmented generation, and even human interaction there to make that come alive. So we'll look at that from a couple of perspectives. Then we have what's new and what's next for Gen AI and ML on Autonomous Database. So that afternoon, join Kumar Rajamani and Madhu Vita along with from Dropbox, along with myself. And we're going to touch on autonomous database, the various strides that have been made in generative AI and ML, in particular relative to Select AI and Oracle Machine Learning. We're delighted to have Madhu talk about Dropbox's use of Select AI as a part of this session. And, so join us to see how AI agents are finding their way in important places across the database stack. So on the next slide, we move on to Wednesday, this agent framework in Oracle database with agent IR capability. Now, this session is one that is going to highlight this new representation, the agent intermediate representation, agent IR. And Sungpak Hong is going to kick off this session introducing this new capability that essentially gives us what you might say, if you're familiar with ONNX representations, well, what ONNX is for machine learning models, the agent IR is for agents. And so it's a very important tool to allow us to have interoperability across multiple components. So it will be excellent to see some of the tools that are available for working with this technology, as well as UIs from that. So I'm going to highlight one of the tools that we have for constructing these AI agents in the database. And Sandesh Rao will highlight how his team is also using Agent AR with a really cool user interface as well. Now, next on the agenda is how to query your data using natural language and AI. So this is on Thursday, and Michelle and Marcos and myself, we're going to have a shorter showcase session, which will highlight how you can query your data using natural language. Of course, this will be with Select AI, highlighting a variety of capabilities. So if you don't have the 2 hours from Tuesday to dedicate to Select AI, you might just want to whet your appetite with what's possible during this session. And finally, how to implement machine learning projects with your data and AutoML. Now, this is a hands-on lab that will walk you through how to use autonomous database for building machine learning-enabled applications. Marcos takes the lead on this one with Laura McKechnie and myself assisting. And so you may know that Oracle Machine Learning on autonomous database supports a wide range of tools from SQL, R, Python, and even no-code user interfaces. So you'll see how you can use the AutoML UI and generate Python-based notebooks to help you build some really cool, innovative solutions. The use case is going to focus on predicting at-risk customers, and it'll be a great introduction to getting you started with Oracle Machine Learning. So on that, I guess we'll pass it off to Bret. Thanks, Abby, for the chance to talk about this.
No problem. Thank you, Mark. Bret, coming on from Seattle, representing Seattle today. Let's get over to the analytics world of AI world. Hang on a second. Let's bring in analytics. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, I want to start with, and the font's a little small here. I want to start with the just some of the keynotes that are happening that I think everyone should attend. I will find out if we know if the keynotes are being presented. That's a question in the chat, but they will definitely be there on person. I would go to the AI for data. If you have to make choices on the different keynotes you can attend, that one on Tuesday at 4 is, I think, a really important one to go see. If you want to understand a little bit more about how on the analytics team, we're thinking about the evolution of AI coming to business users and how data meets that sort of experience. There's 2 different sessions that you can kind of attend. I think that would be useful. Srikanth is going to be presenting on Tuesday an overview of how we see a lot of these things coming together and how we see the user experience of a business user starting to think about them evolving in and understanding how to use AI in their kind of day-to-day work. And then there'll be a second one on Wednesday at 2:15 that Srikanth is also doing. This is really drilling into what does it mean to sort of bring analytics and AI experiences to application users, people using Fusion or other stacks like EBS and things like that. So it's really trying to think about how does the kind of work environment improve. We have a lot of examples of people using agents for individual sort of tasks or maybe personal productivity, but we're starting to try to think about how is that going to evolve in the world of making business experiences and business tasks more effective. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next slide. Okay, this is kind of an overview of a bunch of different things happening in the analytics sessions. I'll call out a few that I think you should attend. The first one, and unfortunately there's a conflict on Wednesday with some of the vector stuff, so you'll have to make a hard choice, but one of the ones I wouldn't miss is the Oracle Analytics Cloud Roadmap Strategy and Vision session from Gabby Rubin. If you've ever seen one of his talks, he's always pretty entertaining. And not only that, he's going to cover a lot of both what's been happening and where we are with AI world, but also talk about kind of the roadmap and where things are going. There's a lot of work going on to try to understand how, as an industry, we can leverage all these new technologies, agents, AI, MCP. How do we put all this together to start to create experiences? I think the analytics team, we're focused both on partnering with all the OCI and database teams to do the kind of the big iron, figure out how to get the data to work. And a lot of what we focus on is how do we bring those experiences to end users? How do we help business users get more out of these tools? Another one I'll highlight is on Wednesday. There's this AI for every analyst. This is really thinking about how do we start to get more people involved in the experience. This is the one at 11 on Wednesday. Avinash is going to be explaining how to start to think of building experiences again for the business user. We have all this technology in the back end, but how do you start to sort of bring that into the hands of the people that are doing the work or need to have that data at their fingertips to do their job. There's some other things at the same time. I've kind of highlighted the hands-on labs in the theater session. I'll call that out, even though I don't have a star by it, because Abby mentioned it, that there's a theater session 11:10 on Wednesday. That's going to be a description of like how we see the future of user experiences and analytics evolving with these tools. So that one, if you don't make Avinash's session at 11, I would stop by the theater at 11:10. Later in that day, there'll be this session from Jacques Vigeant, who's going to really talk about, there's a lot of work going on across all the different teams to help users, what I kind of call talk to your data. How do you get users to be able to ask questions and get information about their data and not have to understand all the intricacies of the data warehouse and all the database tools? And we're exploring in this session at 4:45 with Jacques Vigeant. What does that look like? What do those experiences look like? And more importantly, what can you do as you add this role into your work of building additional capabilities that are focused on AI? And what Jacques going to kind of dive into is, if we had to get the data ready and we had to build all these pipelines and these streaming systems and putting the intelligence in the system, what do you need to start adding to that? Like, how do you think about business content and business context? How do you think about supplementing sort of policies and the way your company does business? How do you supplement that to make these experiences better? So I think a good follow-on Wednesdays is 4:45 session. And then on the bottom part, which is bluish, I want to highlight some of what I call maybe the developer sections. In the analytics team, we've been focused a lot on visualization and helping people kind of do things at their fingertips. We're also making a bigger effort this year to kind of help developers and data engineers connect with the things they need to do to get that data in a good shape for both AI and for analytics. So I'll call it a couple here. Of course, Gabby's session that I talked about in the green part at the top at 8:30 is a good one, but the three I've highlighted are the future of doing data engineering and for AI from Oracle's at 9:45. At 3:30, there's another deep dive in some data engineering. How do we think of kind of current best practices and things that people are doing in the data engineering space? And then on Thursday, there's a couple of sessions that you might want to attend, but one of them can be a good one if you want to have time slot at 11 a.m. on Thursday, would be to drop into the hands-on lab where you're really going to go in and do some, get into the code and learn how to kind of build one of these kind of prediction models and how do you integrate that in an experience into the with an analytics stack. So I think this is a list. I'll send a pointer to all the different sessions so you can look at them. But the ones I've highlighted here with the stars are ones I think are worth you looking at if they weren't on your agenda before.
Amazing, thank you, Bret. That's a lot of sessions, people. That is a lot of sessions. So I'm going to pick up on a couple of questions that have been asked already as we've been going through. Will the slides from this session be available? This video recording will be uploaded to our archive session along with the slides. I'm going to take you to that link in a second. Maria answered the question about will the keynotes be streamed? Yes, main stage keynotes will be streamed live on Oracle TV. Thank you, Maria. and Keith has been able to help with the 12.2 EBS and 19C or 23 AI database. So thank you, Keith. That's a lot of sessions, and I wanted to flag that this isn't just about sessions. AI World is about networking and meeting all of these beautiful people in person, and getting to speak to them and look at the technology and ask them questions and, pull them apart, ask them lots of things, find out what's going on and what's new, etc. But equally, it is about there's the party, as Maria mentioned. You may get a little headache the next day, but enjoy the party as part of AI World. There is a volunteering activity I spotted on the schedule. It's a half day where you can give up some of your time to assist in volunteering. But also, Keith mentioned it, and I will also re-emphasize there are pre-event training sessions. So on the Monday, if you're like me, you're coming in on the weekend and you need something to do on that Monday, there are pre-event sessions. You do have to register for them, and I know some of them are already getting full. So if you are attending, really encourage you to go and look into that as soon as possible to kind of get the most from it. We are going to wrap up in terms of AI World, kind of synonymous. I will be jumping on a plane to get there. But there's lots going on at Las Vegas, and I'm going to see if Keith would mind jumping on camera and just talking about this. If he's there. There he is.
Yes. Hello. Yes, I saw somebody was asking about keynotes, live streaming, etc., and I think Maria answered that. I know we're going to do the roundup afterwards with Marcos, but you can register for a free pass, and a lot of the content I think will be available through that. There will also be, we've got a couple of people there who are going to be doing live interviews and so on. So there's plenty to catch up on there. But honestly, you've got to be there. I think this conference is going to be huge, very, very significant. This could almost be one of those, I remember where I was or what the day was when I heard about X. There's going to be fantastic demos and stuff. I think you have to be there this year. I think you really do. But there we go.
As I said, if you do want to catch up with this, check out our TechCast archive, and that's where you'll find the recording of this session, and we will add the slides to it as well. I'm going to stop sharing slides and get our panelists very quickly to come on camera. Hello, team. Okay, so team, what is, snooze you lose kind of questions here, right? What is the one myth this conference will bust? I'm going to go Bret first.
I think something we say a lot on the analytics team is that AI is magical, but not magic. And so I think one of the myths that we should all understand from what we've been seeing is that the AI doesn't just happen, and it takes all of us as the engineers and the product managers and the people working with data to help empower these users. So it might not seem like a big myth from your point of view, Avi, but I think it's something that we see a lot with customers, or I see a lot with customers, is they're just hoping AI will fly in and fix everything. And our job is to sort of build that sort of fertile ground so that AI can really blossom. And so I think that's one of the, we'll have all these great announcements in technology, but then all of us have to go and make that reality for our customers and users. So.
In which case, I've got to throw it over to the database team. Mark, Maria,
Oh,
Keith,
yeah, I
throw it in
want
there.
to emphasize that. I think that's really the right messaging. But one of the key things is that Oracle Database, an autonomous database, does much more than manage your data. And I think that's going to be a key myth, that we are doing so much in terms of technology that's pre-integrated and allowing you to reach out to all sorts of LLMs and AI service providers, that is a significant myth that I think is going to be quite apparent during this AI world.
Yeah, I'll harp on that just a little bit, Mark, because I think that's something we both see internally for our development, and I see with the customers is you see people trying to build things that the database already does, and it's already all baked in, and it's all so easy to use and manage. You don't have to move your data around. You don't have to, integrate a bunch of different services to make things happen. And so I think that's a great one, Mark, because even though I feel like we've been saying this the last N number of years, I think this is probably the conference that if you don't get that message, you need to get that one this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Maria, from your perspective, mission critical, what's the myth that we're going to bust this year?
I think that and the lads have already touched on it, but the Oracle database is not your grandfather's database. This is something you need to really take a closer look at, and how well it can help simplify everything you're doing, including AI. As Bret said, it's all built into the database. You can do it nice and securely. We're going to show you how you can write 12 simple lines of SQL to do it in complete RAG pipeline inside the database, nice and easy peasy. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest myth. This is not your grandfather's database anymore.
Love that. Keith, any more from Autonomous Database? It's not a granddad's database. I'm going to learn a lot more about analytics. What else?
I think you're going to be surprised at how much is baked in. That's the key thing, really. Everything you want to do your job is there, and it's ready to go straight out the box. Most importantly, on any cloud. Wherever you want to put this, we're there to help you, and we will make your life as easy as possible.
Amazing.
I want to add.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Maria said, I think the other thing I think is really interesting to me, and I think people kind of think about this as they see, like, the advantages of this stuff being built in is not just a shallow, hey, I have one place to go. It's all that other stuff, like productionalizing these like workloads and doing things like security and scale. Yeah. That's all hard. And it's, and if you have something like autonomous behind you, it just makes that, that much easier. So maybe not a myth exactly, but I think also people have this idea, hey, I can vibe code something up. I'm just going to push it on the web and it's going to work. And it might be a great place to start, but you really need all that sort of hardened infrastructure behind you to really make these solutions scale to all of your users. So.
Amazing. Panel, I cannot thank you enough. Hopefully that our community now are going to get the most out of AI World. So I really appreciate your time that you've taken to do this. Really, from a community perspective, really appreciate your time. To the community, thank you. Stay in touch. Reach out to us. If there are any extra questions, I'm sure that I can ping them across to the panel to answer. But wherever you are in the world, stay safe, and we will see you at AI World in just less than a month. See you soon.
Take care.
Thank you.